a straight face. I never questioned anything. You sealed my lips and you stole my shirt, tattooed my heart but marked my words. What do you call the other half of half the truth? What I didn't know never hurt you. Should've paid up front when you sold me out. Lost so much sleep but it's over now. Our love is lying there, lying by your side, murdered by the lies you told. Now you're the one who cries, and your tears rain down your face, and falling on the pillows in the bed you made. You left me nothing, now it's all I've got for you. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You kissed my mouth in brand new places, filled your camera with our faces, wrote love letters underneath my name, crawled in my arms every time it rained. But all those memories, I'm burning them, baby. Can't you see this ain't no maybe? You went and threw them all away somehow. What felt right then I can't feel right now. Our love is lying there, lying by your side, murdered by the lies you told. Now you're the one who cries, and your tears rain down your face, and falling on the pillows in the bed you made. You left me nothing, now it's all I've got for you. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. The chords we're going to be using for this song are E minor 7th, that's open E, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, 3rd fret B, and high E string. We're going to use a C add 9, that's going to be 3rd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, 3rd fret B, and high E string. And then a regular G chord, it's going to be 3rd fret, low E string, 3rd fret B, and 3rd fret high E, and the other strings are open. And then lastly, a D suspended 4th, and that's going to be an open D string, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, and high E string. So really you can just keep your pinky on the 3rd fret of the E string and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string for pretty much the entire song. The first part you're going to learn is the verse, and it sounds like this. Just keep repeating that over and over again. So we're going to be doing some palm muting. So on your picking hand, just rest your palm on top of the strings over here, and you're just going to strum like you normally would. So E minor 7th, you're going to strum down, up, before switching to the next chord. So the lower strings are going to sound a little muffled, and the higher strings are going to ring out. That's okay. So E minor 7th. Then you switch to the C add 9. So that's going to be the 3rd fret of the A string, and you're actually going to want to leave the D string open, and then open G, and 3rd fret B, and 3rd fret high E string. And the strumming pattern for this one, you're going to strum down and hammer onto the 2nd fret of the D string with your index finger, and then you're going to strum up, down, down, up. So from E minor 7th to C add 9, and then we're going to switch to G. So again, 3rd fret low E string, 3rd fret B, and high E string, and you're going to strum down, up, just like you did the E minor 7th. And then the last one, you're going to do the D suspended 4th chord, and again that's open D, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, and 3rd fret high E string, but you leave the G string open for that first down strum because you're going to do a hammer onto the 2nd fret. So basically you're going to want to do G like E minor 7th and D suspended 4th like C add 9. So same strumming pattern, and you're going to strum down with the hammer on, up, up, down, down, up. So from G to D suspended fourth. So all four chords together a little bit slower. And regular speed. Never seen such a beautiful straight face. Never questioned anything. You sealed my lips and stole my shirt. Tattooed my heart but mocked my words. You just keep repeating this over and over again throughout the verse. Next part up is the chorus, and it's really easy because it uses pretty much the same chords and even less strumming. So the first part is going to sound like this. My love is lying there, lying by your side, murdered by the lies you told. Now you're the one who cries, and your tears rain down your face, and falling on the pillows in the bed you made. So all you're doing is strumming down, up, and then muting the strings for each of these chords. So starting with that E minor 7th, down, up, and then mute. And so all I'm doing to mute is I stop fretting on my left hand over here, and then with my right hand, after that last up strum, I'm going to come back down, and I mute the strings with my palm. I just slap my hand back on the strings over here and do a light down strum. One more time so you can see it this way. And I do that with each chord. So then when I switch to the C add 9, I'm just going to do down, up again. And then mute. Same with G. Now over here, instead of doing the D suspended fourth, do a D chord. So open D, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, and 2nd fret high E string, and do down, up, mute, and then down, up, mute, and then down, up. So you do the D chord 3 times. And then you repeat. Now you don't have to do the mutes in between, you can just strum them out if you want to. But I like to do the muting instead. Now the second half of the chorus sounds like this. You left me nothing, now it's all I've got for you. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. So all I'm doing is pretty much strumming the verse chords the same way without palm muting. Down, up, switch to the C add 9, down, up, down, up, and then go to G, down, up, and then D suspended fourth, down, up, down, up. And you just keep repeating this throughout the rest of the chorus before you go back to the verse, which again you'll introduce the palm muting. And that's how you play both parts. Now for those of you wanting to learn the lead, that sounds like this. It's actually a really easy lead part. So what I like to do is I like to put my index finger on the 7th fret of the high E string and then use my ring finger on the 10th fret of the high E string. And I want to press down on both because you're going to do a pull off. So what you do is you pluck the 10th fret and then just pull your ring finger off. That way the 7th fret rings out. And then you're going to pluck the 7th fret again. After after that, you go to the 10th fret of the B string with your ring finger again, and then put your index finger on the 8th fret of the B string and do the same thing. So. Now stay right here, and you're going to do the 10th fret pull off to the 8th fret of the B string one more time. So. And then you're going to repeat the 10th fret pull off to the 7th fret of the E string. And then go back to the 10th fret of the B string and pull off to the 8th fret. Pluck the 8th fret one more time. And then you're going to pluck the 8th fret and hammer on to the 10th fret of the B string, and then do a bend. So for the bend, what I'm doing is I'm plucking the 8th fret and hammering on with my ring finger to the 10th fret. And then I'm also going to set my middle finger on that 9th fret of the B string to help do the bend. So I'm using all 3 of these fingers right here to bend upward. So. It's really quick. So that first part of the lead all together. Then the second part is pretty much the same up until that last part I just showed you, until that last bend. So again, do the 10th fret pull off to the 7th of the high E string. Pluck the 7th fret one more time. Switch to the B string, 10th fret pull off to the 8th fret. Pluck the 8th fret again. Pull off the 10th fret to the 8th fret one more time. And then go back to the 10th fret of the high E string, pluck it, and pull off to the 7th fret. Pluck the 7th fret one more time, and then go to the 10th fret here, and you're going to pluck that and let it ring out for a bit, and then you're going to pluck it one more time, and then bend upward. So. So I'll play the lead part all together. Now the lead for the chorus has the same strumming pattern with different variations of the same chords. It's going to sound like this. Love is lying there, lying by your side, murdered by the lies you told. Now you're the one who cries, and your tears rain down your face, falling on the pillows in the bed you made. And that's the first part. But basically, like I said, these chords are pretty much the same as the rhythm guitars. So it's still going to be a variation of an E minor 7th, I think. But it's going to be the 7th fret of the A string and 8th fret of the B string. And we're going to mute the low E, high E, and the D strings. So the only strings you want to ring out are going to be the A, G, and B strings. And what you do is you strum down, up, and then instead of just muting, you're going to slide down until the strings stop ringing out. So what I'm doing is I'm still holding the frets right here tightly, but I'm just going to slide down. It sounds weird without the other guitar, but that's okay. Next one's really easy. You just go back up here, put your ring finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and then move your middle finger to the 8th fret of the low E string. And this is going to be a variation of that C add 9. And you do the same thing. Next one is going to be a variation of a G chord, and that's going to be index finger 10th fret A string and put your pinky on the 12th fret of the B string. And then the last one is going to be a variation of a D chord. That's going to be the 5th fret A string with your index finger, and I use my ring finger on the 7th fret of the B string. And just strum. Now this one I do the muting. Down, up, mute. Down, up, mute. Down, up. So again, just to do that mute is you rest your palm back on the strings over here and do a light down strum. So all together. And then you repeat that one more time. The second half of the chorus just sounds like this. So all I'm doing here is I'm using my middle finger on the 12th fret of the high E string, and when I pluck it, I'm going to kind of wiggle my finger a little bit. See how this is just a regular one note until it rings out and fades away? You wiggle it a little bit, it gives you kind of a wah effect. And I do that with each string that I'm going to pluck, or each fret that I'm going to pluck. So starting with the 12th fret of the high E string, then I'm going to go down to the 10th fret and do the same thing. Down in the 7th fret, and then I go to the 10th fret of the B string, or you can go to the 5th fret of the E string. Either way works. So. And then just repeat that. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and thank you, Connor, for requesting this song. I hope you enjoy it and you're able to learn it. If you guys have any requests, go ahead and leave them in the comment box down below. My list is growing like a ton, and I know I gotta start making these videos a lot faster because I've been slacking lately. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.